Welcome back. So this time I'm going to be working on the Lexus again. A little something that's been, well, it was one thing that's been bugging me since I got the car from my aunt, and then two more things that came up. Right now I've got the car running so you can see these lights, and the brake lights just because our driveway's on an incline. But right now you can see the VSC and the VSC off. That's been on pretty much the entire time since my aunt gave it to me. The check engine light, that came on recently. The first time I checked it out, it said something about the MAF sensor, and then it said something about dirty fuel injectors as the most likely culprits. The second time around, I figured that's most likely because of the whole diesel accident. But since then, I threw in some fuel injector cleaner and drove it, I think, about 30 minutes each way to go to do archery and sparring, and it's still here. So I'm going to run over to AutoZone and get it checked one more time. And then the tire pressure light, that's been on since Mom gave me the car too. In fact, she actually put air in the tires before she handed it off to me, so I gotta figure out what's going on with that. But ultimately, the whole goal of today's video is to get these lights off. And while I'm doing this, I'm also working on an issue with my car overheating because of a coolant leak. And depending on what's causing that and what I can do to fix it, you might see that video first. We'll see. Anyway, I actually did some digging on the VSC and the VSC off lights when I first got the car. For the life of me, I forgot what it even stood for, let alone what it does. But I did check out a couple of YouTube videos about how to clear those lights. Something involving a paper clip and a couple of fuses. I'll have to look at it again and find a paper clip. I think I had one, but... So yeah, moral of the story, don't procrastinate on this kind of thing. Just get it done quick. Anyway, I'm going to look into what I need to do for that. Shouldn't be any problem. Tire pressure, pretty obvious. I'll throw some air in the tires, because I haven't since I've had it, and it's probably overdue at least a little bit. And if that still persists, I'll check to see what else it might be. The big one though is most likely going to be the check engine light, because if it's the fuel injector issue still, I'll have to see if maybe I need to throw in another bottle, and failing that, maybe I'll end up changing spark plugs for the first time. That would be interesting. But if it ends up also coming back as the MAF thing again, I can also find that, put that in. Either way, I imagine getting all these lights cleared should help me learn a little something new, which is actually very exciting. So today, I'm going to start tackling the lights. First, I'm going to go to AutoZone, have them read the check engine light to see if anything has changed. If it's still saying the same thing, then since I've already put in 2 bottles of fuel injector cleaner, that most likely means I'm going to have to get some spark plugs and then just start from there. Then I'm going to run over to QT, throw in some air, because it's the only place I can think of where I don't have to pay for that. And then I'll get to the VSC thing. Yeah, that should be interesting from what I've seen. Just wrapped up at the AutoZone, had the code red, and what I'm seeing here is pretty much the same thing I saw last time before I threw in the second bit of engine cleaner, which is engine misfire with these codes here. So taking a look at it, the guy said, yeah, it may not be the spark plugs, it might be the fuel injectors themselves. So there's a chance that they're still dirty, and the guy said it could be the fuel injectors rather than the spark plugs, in which case they may have to be cleaned or replaced. And considering the price point, I am really hoping it's for cleaning. I would gladly break out a toothbrush and deal with that. I don't care. But yeah, so when I get back, I'll see if I can crack things open, find the fuel injectors, take a look at them, and go from there. But first, I'm going to tackle a few of the other preliminary things, like swinging over to QT, putting some air in the tires, and see what I notice. Slight hiccup. When I checked the sticker on the frame for the PSI for this car, it says it's all supposed to go to 33. And my aunt has a tire gauge in here, but it only goes to 20. So I had to come back home and get mine first. Alright, I'm back home. I've got a tire gauge that can actually go high enough for me to read it. So now, to get my measurements now, so I don't have to think about it too much at the Quick Trip. And also, here's a box for one of the next things I'm going to do for my Hyundai. So front left tire first. So 25. Back left tire. 30. So, tiny bit low. And what makes it even worse is I've learned that when you've just driven, the air in the tires is a little higher, so the pressure's a little higher, which means, yeah, these were way low. You know, on the front passenger side, 30, and a rear passenger, 27. Kind of weird that it's the front left and the back right that are the ones that are the lowest. Don't really know how that works, but I'm learning. So anyway, that's what I'm going to have to get the tire pressures up to. So now, onto the Quick Trip. So, yeah, time to throw in some air. Not going to lie though, between AutoZone and here, it feels kind of weird filming out in the open. I like to think I've pretty much given up my shame and I can handle all this because I'm not worried about what people think. But yeah, this is weird. So, let's get started. Unfortunately, the tire light is still on, so I'm going to have to do some digging to see what else that could be. In the meantime, I'm going to work on another issue, the VSC, VSC off lights. So the first step is to take my paper clip, or it basically said it could be a wire or whatever, something metal that can connect it, and basically connect these two pins within the OBD2 connector. And then I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of other stuff, you know, like the hokey pokey and junk. Now that the paper clip is in, according to the instructions, next thing to do, turn the car into the on position, not running, just on. Hold on, I locked the wheel. Okay. So now, okay, so the lights are on, and yep, VSC is blinking, as is ABS. That means it's calibrating. So now, what I gotta do is turn off the car, pull out the paper clip, back to on again. Wait a minute to make sure everything comes up the way it should. Yeah, the ABS light isn't on anymore. Apparently needs, well, we'll see if it needs much more fluid, but I highly doubt it. Okay, so it said wait about 15 seconds. Seems like long enough. And then start. So now I had to do a test drive because the lights only come on when the car moves. So here we go. So I actually drove the Drove the Lexus up the street and back just long enough for it to get it up to temp. And yeah, not only are the VSC and the VSC off lights turned off now, the check engine light went with it. I figured given the reading, I should still keep an eye out for stuff like rough idle and whatnot, which I haven't seen yet. But good, I'll definitely take a 3 for 2 on this one. All that's left now is the tire pressure light, so I'm going to do some digging to see what could cause that to be a problem, even after I put air in it literally a week ago. And just like with the overheating issue, this one's been taken out of my hands. So basically what happened is, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my last video, but in case you missed it, my van life aunt, who had been traveling all over the country and had left the Lexus with me to watch, she decided she was gonna start laying down roots up in Colorado. So she decided that she got a job, a house, all that, and now she needs a daily. The van, not really ideal for a daily driving situation, so she's taking the Lexus with her. So she had to hurry to get that done before I could figure out what was wrong. So she took it into a mechanic, and as far as I know, that's been handled. I haven't really heard. I figure once I get word, I can ask, hey, what did they do? Although who knows how many questions she's gonna ask. But yeah, so not only does that cap this video here, but that also means no more Lexus content. I don't know, maybe one day when I go out there and check out her place, I'll work on something little. But yeah, for now, just back to the Elantra. As I'm sure you guys have noticed, the last couple of videos have been specifically Elantra instead of me alternating one or the other. So, guess that means I get to spend a little more time getting into the next step of my plans for the channel, which is to find a stick shift car. Hopefully stick shift and project in one, which would be nice. But yeah, right now I'm saving up my funds, collecting all them pennies I can find on the ground, all that fun stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna find another car to work on, preferably running, so I can also learn how to drive stick, because like I said, now I'm 31, it is time. It's time for me to learn how to drive a stick. Plus I want to. Anyway, that'll be it for this video, and as soon as I find another car, I'll have something else crazy for you. But for now, just stay focused for more Hyundai content. This is DJ, the Aspiring Gearhead. See ya.